Hello everyone and welcome back to PAX and Recreation, and today we are here together with Edgar Markov because it's Bundlemania and we're going back to Innistrad, baby. So going back, we already did in the past Crimson Vow, so now it's time for Innistrad Midnight Hunt. And yes, I know that technically for this set I should have like some werewolves in the background or something, but I don't think I have any werewolves playmat. The closest thing I think I have is like Silvala or something, but it doesn't matter, the playmats are merely decorative. We are going to see what awaits for us here. I'm going to open it very carefully because I need to open it first before showing it to you, because otherwise the reflections are going crazy on the camera, and that no one wants. So let me... It's funny, I'm opening it like all the care in the world, and it's like... this is good plastic. They don't do plastic like this anymore. Like this wrapper plastic, this is some good stuff. Very hard to recycle too, mind you, which is to a degree why I don't mind that we switched to the smaller package that is like self-contained and it's very smart, like because you technically can reseal this. You can just wrap it again. There's nothing saying Wizards of the Coast here, so it's kind of doable. But with the other ones, like zip, boop, it's all cardboard. You can't fool anyone with that one. So Innistrad Midnight Hunt, a set that a lot of people were crazy about because it's Innistrad and it's is a lot of people's favorite plane. For me, it's one of my favorite planes, together with Theros. But for a lot of people, it was kind of a nightmare because of all the day and night shenanigans, which actually the die reflects. Go in the dark, oversized, spin down, life counter. And I can see how Wizards was like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. And it's like, nope, for a lot of people, this is also the beginning of like shitty mechanics. The same way that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was the beginning of hat sets, this is the beginning of like, why are we playing a sub game instead of playing Magic the Gathering? Now, I think that that's just people overreacting because of their hate of the day and night cycle mechanic. Because we did have like subsystems for some sets before, maybe not as, like this or like the Undercity and all that, but yeah, I can see why people complain about this. So again, we're still in the set booster era. So we get 20 traditional foils and 20 regular lands, 12 cards set booster from Midnight Hunt, an old art traditional foil Triskaideka file, and the box. And I love how they rearrange the contents because of the art, which is, I appreciate the little things. And it says, the hunt begins. Nights on Innistrad grow longer. Werewolves' attacks are more frequent and ferocious. Can balance be restored before the sun sets for good? Cast powerful double-sided creatures with the power to transform on the battlefield. When day turns to night, it's lights out. For your opponent. Yay! So, it's kind of a thing. This is one of those sets that makes you think, do they design the visual component first or the mechanic component first, right? And this screams mechanic first. And we're back to this era, right? So this is one of those. Is this the thing that is a cutout? Oh man, I saw this back in the day. This is the first time opening this bundle for me too, right? I didn't open one of these before, so I saw these in a publication somewhere. I can tell this is old because it didn't offer that much resistance. But for once, instead of doing the whole big slime thing, they just did like a small one. I need to be careful with Edgar Markov's face. Maybe not the best playmat to play with an autofocus camera. So you have the Harvestide mask, which is pretty cool. And actually is reconfigurable, which is something that I find is super, super cool, right? This is one of those. Other people just throw these away, right? So some people use them as posters, but some people argue against that because of this, which screws the whole purpose. But this is very, cool. And if you cut it, you can actually just display the mask, which is kind of cool too. So not bad. Kind of cool, kind of lovely. The bad thing is that for better or worse, they did the mini snot instead of doing the full snot here, so, and removing those is a pain in the ass, even more with gloves. But let's see. So the insert, a very square insert, because we're back at that time. The Moon of Innistrad and the Traveler's Prayer to Sigarda. Nice. See, this is the good lore, and all the lore about the Sigarda, the True, the Shadow Slayer, the Hope of the Lost. Protect us through this long night. May the danger in the darkness bring harm to no one, and may our fears be met with Heron's grace. Avacyn is gone, yet you remain. To you, Sigarda, we offer this prayer. Now, pretty cool, and let's remember that this is one of, this is part of the cool lore of Magic. Like, Avacyn was supposed to be the savior of humanity, and it was for a while before it was corrupted because of all the Eldrazi things, and it was Shadows over Innistrad and Eldritch Moon and all that stuff. Very good set, and now, well, there's no more Avacyn, so they turn to Sigarda, right? So that makes sense. And your first harvest tide may be your last, and then this is more or less the same description as the box, but with a werewolf planeswalker. Adeline Cord must stop her kin and the encroaching darkness. Can she and her newfound allies restore balance before the sun sets for good? This is also another thing that was lost in upcoming sets, which, if you are following Bundlemania, you already saw them, right? But like before, there was a greater emphasis on the lore. Like the insert will have lore. You have like, well, this is the cool art and it has a prayer and it's lovely, but like now you will have lore. We don't have the book anymore, the pamphlet with the card catalog, but you will get snippets of lore, and that will be freaking cool. Now, yes, compared to some of the other things that I would normally say, like, oh, you can frame that. I guess you can frame this too. You need to be very careful so that you don't step on the prayer on the borders. But yeah, you can frame this if you want. Now, it's a weird size to frame because it's not like a custom normal size. But remember this box? It's back, baby. The box that no one actually knows what it is for, but we all used it for something. I love this thing. It's one of those. Now, I get why a lot of people didn't mind that much that we transitioned to the smaller size boxes, because this makes sense when we had the card catalog. From the moment this stopped coming with a card catalog book, what was the point? We still get this, I guess. And some people use this for like cards or counters or dice or whatever. So not bad. It's just, we love cardboard, but it's kind of wasteful to a degree because a lot of people don't use this. They just throw them away. Now, it's true that it's impossible to shake off the feeling that we just keep getting less and less for the same price. And, it is what it is, I guess. And now for the box. This box is beautiful. Actually, both boxes from Innistrad, which is, let's remember, is the multi-set story in the same plane that we had. Because after this, it was Hat time. It was Kamigawa, it was New Capenna, it was Dominaria, it was Phyrexia, it was March of the Machine. And yeah, that's like an overarching story. And yeah, some people say like March of the Machine is kind of a sequel together with the Phyrexia will be one, but it's not really because it's a different plane. So, this is technically between Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. Is the last multi-set plane visit that we have. This box is is as cool as it is meh. Like on this side, it's like cool. I love it when the picture follows. And the Planeswalker logo for this set is kind of I guess. It's like, okay, it's like night and darkness, and you can see there's like the trees there. It's like cool. It's not the craziest, most. Some people don't like it when they overwork this too much, but it's cool. It just feels repetitive. It's like you have this here and then you have this here, which is the same art twice. It's not like you can. It's like, oh, more wolves. It's like, no. But the cool thing is that if this doesn't work for you, because some people, this is the taller side, so some people store them like this. With this, you can tell it's Innistrad Midnight Hunt. That's all you want, because here it says Magic, and it's cool, but it doesn't say Innistrad Midnight Hunt, which they're not consistent with. And on this side, it's pretty cool because you just get a werewolf coming at you. So pretty nice box, and the color scheme is just on point. Now, what do we get here? What's in the box? So everything it's outside. I love it that there's never consistency. Sometimes things come in the box, sometimes they don't. Let's see the die right away. So this is the famous Midnight Hunt die. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's one of those, right? And why some people love it, some people hate it? Because this thing glows in the dark, which I am not. Well, yeah, you can kind of see it, I think. Now, it didn't get that much light for you to be like, oh yeah, I totally see it. But yeah, the idea of this is this thing glows in the dark, people. That's the thing. And to be honest, it's kind of a neat idea. Now, the thing is, these are the colors of the set. So I normally like it when they respect the colors of the set. So this is orange and yellow, which is, the colors of the set. And when it gets enough sunlight, it goes greenish, which is not the color of the set. I mean, you can do miracles. These things glow green in the dark. It's kind of cool. It's gimmicky, but that's also kind of what this set is about, is the night and day cycle, right? The day and night cycle. So it makes sense that the die is exactly like that. So can't blame that. Now we get our boosterinos here, which we're gonna open in a second, and the reference cards, because God forbid we miss them. And the lands and a Triskai Deca file alt promo card. So I'm opening a lot of this with the not so recent bundles. I didn't do it, by the way, the cup, the glorious cup. I didn't do it that much, but since it's for you to also see the lands, I open all of these. And it's a shame because the moment you open them, they gain more air. They're already curved, so it is what it is. Triskai Deca file for 2 and 1 blue is a human wizard that is a 1/3 and says, you have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. For 3 and 1 blue, you draw a card. So she's fun. I guess it makes sense that she's always willing to lend a hand. It just won't be their own. It's interesting because I don't get it. Like, I get the art connection between the hands, and if you have cards in your hand, you win the game. Yes, it's Triskai Deca file, so if it's 13, you win. I just don't get the thing between these, the hands, and the number 13. It doesn't make sense because there is no hand with 13 fingers. So that's like two hands and a half. So that's, I get it, but I don't get it. I think there was something missing in translation here. So the lands, look at this. A lot of people refer to this as the autumn set because the vibes are very autumnish, like pumpkins. And if you see the commander decks, one of them is basically a lady with pumpkins. So it's very Halloween, and everything is very spooky, which is kind of the thing with Innistrad, let's be honest. But they didn't go super crazy. We only get one of each land. Like there's not that much of variety here. To a degree, I get it. And I was about to say they kind of committed to everything being on the twilight, but it's not really. Some of them are during the night. At least that's the feeling I get. It's not very consistent. So I love them. I just feel like you can't really appreciate all the details in those cards. Now, let's go into the boosters. And as usual, please remember, when I open the bundles, it's just to take you back to the past, like the angry video game nerd, and for us to see Haverside Century, for us to see how sets were and how their bundles were, because I do believe that bundles are the best time capsule for a set. Oh yeah, this is the set that introduced the black and white, man. Oh, fuck, that's right. Remember this? I remember when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, and yes, this is cool because black and white, scary movie and all that, like old school horror movies. I get it. I like it. I don't hate it at all. And since the borders are very clearly in the color of the land, you can kind of read the card from across the table, like, right? If you have that there in the table. Like, you see the symbol, you see the colors. I mean, it's a land, you know what I mean? It's a mountain. Like it's not like all mountains are obviously mountains, right? So that makes sense because they have the borders and colors, so that's okay. But then they took it too far. They did that double feature thing, which is just all the cards in grayscale. That thing was so bad, my brother. That thing was just so bad. One of those occasions where Wizards is like, hey, let's do that. That's cool. It's like, nah, it's not cool. I mean, it would be cool if you made them cheaper or if you build them in a certain way, but it's not like they are like a lot of these beautiful arts. If you just put a grayscale filter on Photoshop, they don't look crazy good. They just look eh. Fangblade Brigand. Is this one of the, yeah, see, like we already have here transform cards with special treatment, right? So this was the whole thing of this set. It's day bound, so you will have a card that will be like day and night, and things will trigger that it will be day or night. I don't remember the exact condition. Well, I'm sure we will get one of spoilers. Well, we didn't. I was about to say like I'm sure we want to get a day or night token card. It's like nope, we didn't. So say, and then the whole thing is like the creatures will flip, which is cool if you're wizards and you don't care about cards and you just flip them, and that's okay. But if you're playing with the sleeves, this thing is the most annoying thing in the world. Like, imagine you're playing like this, and then it's like, oh, it's night, and you need to keep track of it. Like, depending on how many spells you cast, and if you didn't cast anything, going back to day, I think it was. And then you had to turn all the cards at the same time, right? It was just so annoying because it's like, okay, Menace daybound, cool, and then it transforms into Stalking Predator, Menace nightbound, right? It's like the idea is not bad, but even in Magic Arena, which this mechanic really feels like a Magic Arena thing, it really in Magic Arena it's easier to track it because the machine does it for you. But even in Magic Arena, sometimes it feels like. Why? You know what I mean? It's like, why this happens? Like, oh, okay. You need to keep track of a sub-game within Magic, which I don't mind. Oh, Spellbook. You have no maximum hand size, which between this and Triska Decaphile, we can build a deck already, guys. This is from the 10th edition. Cost 0. Nice artifact. For an artifact synergy deck, that's right there. So, yeah, like, oh, Giza. I remember, or Giza, I guess. I remember the drama. See, like island. Okay, it's not crazy, but like you can tell it's an island from across the room. It's blue, right? You know what I mean? Some of the more modern land special treatments, you can't say that as confidently. See, the card that we pulled not so long ago. Cool. Clear shot, like in the art treatment. So it was kind of a pain. I remember playing in Arena, and every time these cards will come in, we'll be like, oh man, for F's sake, come on. Someone played Horizon Forbidden Dawn. Curse of Leeches. Okay. Enchant player. Permanent. As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, attach it to a player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, they lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. And that's daybound, because when it's night, it becomes a Leeching Lurker. Lifelink, and that's it. So it's between an enchantment and a creature. Not a bad idea. But, so again, this is the thing. When you need this, this is a problem. And this is a thing that happens with Innistrad a lot since the beginning. Innistrad is one of those sets where you will have like transforming creatures, right? And I love transforming creatures. I remember the first time I saw Innistrad cards and I got a creature that transformed, I was like, man, this shit's so cool. And you see it, you read it, and you're like, wow, it's crazy, right? At least that was like normal transforming cards. Let's remember that normal transforming cards normally have a condition to transform. And then you start playing with them when you start playing Magic and you start realizing that you need sleeves and all that. And I mean, if you're single sleeving, okay. If you're double sleeving, God have mercy on your soul, because depending on which combination of inners and outers you have, removing the card, switching and putting it in again can be a nightmare, because you just need to ensure that the inner is in there and whatnot. So it will be very bad, very, very bad. And Ooh, burn down the house. Let's go. But it will be when well, that will be like a you problem when your cards transform. So that will be like okay, I guess. Like it will be bad, but it wouldn't be that bad. The problem with the day bound, night bound mechanic is that it will apply to everyone. Now, if you are the only one playing with Midnight Hunt cards, that's okay. Like it's your problem. You have to keep your game up. Now, your opponent needs to know what the hell are you doing, and how to maybe cause the day and night switch to happen. So this also means that your opponent has to be on top of this too, which is not very lovely. It's very annoying for both. But I remember in the playing with people just with Innistrad cards. Man, what this one is backwards. Cool. Rare misprint, people. I remember Graveyard Trespasser. Difficult to read, but cool card nonetheless. War, discard a card. Whenever Graveyard Trespasser enters the battlefield or attacks, up to one target card from a graveyard. If a creature card has sailed this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and it's day bound. And then becomes Graveyard Glutton. War, discard a card. Whenever Graveyard Glutton enters the battlefield or attacks, up to 2 target cards from a graveyard. Each card for each creature card exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Angel Fire Ignition. Not bad. Path to the Festival in foil, and an ad that I hope is not. Yeah, it's just an ad. I hate these ads, man. When both people are playing day and night, man, what an annoying set of things. Like you do something, they do something. It switches, they switch. Everything, like each turn, you have to like turn your cards around. So you get to the point that you start playing single sleeved, or like. You know, because sadly you can't play, which is funny because it's anti-magic, right? To a degree, like if you have to play with double-sided cards, you can't play without sleeves because you can be like, fuck, F it, we're gonna play without sleeves. It's just faster. It's like, well, actually you can't, because if you are shuffling cards with no back, you can see them, right? So you can't do that. You have to play with sleeves. So that's why Wizards includes these cards, so that it's like, well, if you want to play without sleeves or without trouble, you just write here night and day for a card, and this is a placeholder for one of your cards. And a lot of people, what they do is they just have lands or proxies for the sleeve card, and then they have like a side deck of sorts with all the double-sided cards, and they just put them on top and flip it on like transparent sleeves just for the sake of agilizing the game, which again, this comes from a person that really loves Innistrad and loves transforming cards. Ooh, the Midnight Massacre, let's go. But it's really an anti-pattern in Magic. It's like, oh, to play with these, you kind of need a card that is random, is a token. That is very rare that you pull it. Technically, the LGS is supposed to give you that card, right? But you know what it is. You know what I mean? Or you can just proxy a land and just write on top of it. Or you need to play with sleeves. And it's like, oh, okay. It sucks that Wizards doesn't make sleeves. The beloved Midhook Massacre that actually has a sequel for X and 2 black. When the Midhook Massacre enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until the end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain 1 life. This was very useful in Standard and has stayed very useful in all the formats like Commander. Firmament Sage, and a card from the list, Orzhova, the Church of Deals. Add 1 to your mana pool, 1 colorless, or generic, sorry. And for 3, 1 white, 1 black, tap, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Unlike most churches, at Orzhova, it's best to pray before you arrive. This was a kind of easy to ninja, which is, maybe it's because they are old. Well, old. 2021, difficult to admit it, but yeah, that was 4 years ago. Component Collector, Organ Hoarder, Revenge of the Drowned, everything blue, people. Drownweird Amalgam, Voldaren Ambusher, Foul Play, Morning Patrol, Morning Apparition. What is this thing doing with the... Oh, it's getting greeted by it. That's lovely. Tavern Ruffian, Tavern Smasher, Champion of the Perished, Zombie. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished. Ah, not bad. Ooh, Jeren, Corrupted Bishop. And you don't see this thing being played because it's a two-sided card, people. So, another placeholder. What does this thing do? For 2 and 1 black, whenever a Jeren, Corrupted Bishop, enters the battlefield of another non-token human you control dies, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 white human creature token. If you pay 2, target human you control gains lifelink at the end of turn. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have exactly 13 life, you may pay 4 and 2 black. If you do, transform Jeren. So funny enough, this thing is not, I mean, it doesn't say day bound and night bound. So, although it does have the sun logo here, so I guess it shouldn't be affected by day bound and night bound because it's not day bound and night bound, but whatever. And I guess transformed into Ormendal the Corruptor. It's a 6/6 with the number of the beast with flying, trample, and lifelink. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card. So, you know, this is okay. In Commander, it's not that crazy because getting to 13 takes some time unless you drain your life on purpose. So that's why people don't talk about this one a lot, I guess. Because Magic is Commander nowadays. Denik, Pio's Apprentice. A foil mountain is very difficult to tell it's foil. Even in the video by shining light on it, it's kind of difficult. That's also something that people didn't go too crazy about. I love it when foil is more or less discreet, or is smart, like only some things in the card are foil, like the flame effects or the lightning, you know what I mean? I don't like it when the whole card is foil. A lot of times, even having foil cards actually ruins the artwork. It makes it look pale and the colors all blend together. So it's not very cool a lot of times to have like a foil card. And if you let me choose, a lot of times I would just choose the normal one. I would just pick the normal one, choose the normal one. Like, I wouldn't, pick the foil one because it just butchers the art. Grafted Identity. As an additional cast to cost this spell is for 2 and 2 blue. Sacrifice a creature. Enchant creature. You control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. So as a stealing mechanism, this is very good. Consider that I use a lot. And finally, we get the Night and Day card. And here it is. If it becomes day or night, or if a day-bound permanent enters the battlefield, track day-night for the rest of the game. This is why people don't like this set that much. As it becomes day, transform all night-bound permanents. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. So I don't hate this thing. It's just the upkeep for it, like the maintenance is very annoying, but this thing is kind of interesting in the sense that there's like a downside thing. Like if you don't cast any spells, that means any spell, which maybe sometimes you don't have any spells, but you transform your things. And the cool thing, the balance here, at least in my head, is that if you have things in the board, likely you will have more things to put on the board, but you have to choose on purpose to not do anything so that they can transform and therefore they can become better versions, because most creatures are more powerful in their night version, right? So that's kind of what you want to do. And that's why night kind of punishes you for being overbearing, right? Like as it becomes night, transform all day-bound permanents. Permanents enter the battlefield night-bound. If a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day next turn. So if you hold yourself, you get to transform them into the night version, which normally, again, not all cards, but like normally, the night version is more powerful. If you overdo it and you cast too much stuff, then it gets back to day, which it's funny because as a balancing act, if you want to, the same card, nice. If you want to chill your opponent because it's playing with, Innistrad cards and is going crazy on you with all things transformed, the best way for you to consider, the best thing for you to stop that person is to cast more, which if you kind of are on your back foot, you maybe don't have that much to do, right? So it's kind of I get it, but it's not, but it's funny how sometimes you will get distracted and undo your own day-night cycle by not remembering that you have to do it, right? So Visions of Duplicity. I forgot the set boosters sometimes had commander cards. It's very fun. Malevolent Hermit transforms into Benevolent Geist. Flying, non-creature spells you controls can be countered. If Benevolent Geist will be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Okay. And a Jack-o'-lantern, which was the best thing to finish a Halloween theme set, basically. And a double ad, which, at least I use those for some things, but it is what it is. So, that's the bundle, my friends. And is it worth it? Well, I mean, I love Innistrad with a hard, incandescent passion. So I love this set. I love, on paper, day and night. On practice, it's a thing. I think I like it. I can live with it on Magic Arena. In person, I don't like it too much. It is what it is. But but as usual, visually, thematically, I love Innistrad. So it is what it is. The box is beautiful. It follows the pattern, unlike the New Capenna one. That I don't know what happened there. And the die is certainly a thing. Is it worth it? Well, at this point in time, getting it is kind of an effort. But if you really like Innistrad, I mean, if you really want the box, I mean, people sell the box and the die separately, so you can just get these, I guess. But the die is interesting. The box I like more. The box is cool. I like this color combination. I like this whole like black, orange, yellow, white thing. I love it. The die is interesting. It has an interesting feeling, and you can be like, how can you tell you're wearing gloves? And it's like, well, trust me, I can tell. So it has an interesting feeling to it. It smells normal. That was the check we were doing. And they managed to do the colors in spite of it being a glow-in-the-dark type of thing, which you can kind of see it becoming green. See? Like, that's kind of the thing. It becomes green, which is not one of the colors, but again, what would you expect, right? So it's cool. It's gimmicky, like the entire set, to be honest, but it works. It's quirky and I like it. And that's the bundle. So let me know down below, what are your opinions on this set? Because this set is very polemic. I know that afterwards we got Crimson Vow, and a lot of people didn't like the story of Crimson Vow and didn't love how that thing finished or where did it go. But there were some cool cards there, like Wedding Invitation. So people didn't like what happened to Sorin. And this set, people were excited about the werewolves and the fact that it's just, for once, it's werewolves and humans and not so much vampires. And people love that. But then they really went into the werewolf thing, and you have day and night cycle. So what are your opinions on the day and night cycle? Do you love it? Do you actually like playing with it, playing against it? Let me know your thoughts down below. And I hope to see you next time on PAX and Recreation in the next episode of Bundlemania. So thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.